Okay, so this next case has been shocking people everywhere. We're talking about a woman from Indiana who is now accused of killing 3 people in Illinois. On March 21st, police were called out to a home in Crete Township, Illinois for a welfare check around 2 a.m. after receiving a call from a woman's sister who had said she had just called and admitted to killing 3 people. And when the police got there, what they found was a full blown crime scene. As they moved towards the house, they found 2 victims inside right near the front door, and later a third inside of a vehicle in a cul-de-sac inside the same neighborhood. All 3 had been shot. Those victims were later identified as 32-year-old Jacob Lambert, along with his mom Stacy and stepfather Patrick Ford. And pretty quickly, investigators said this didn't look random. It looked targeted and likely domestic in nature. So they're trying to figure it out. What exactly happened here? Because you have 3 people, all from the same family, who were killed in what appears to be a very tight timeline. Because looking at the scene, there were no signs of forced entry, and 2 of the victims, like I said, were found right near the front door, which suggests this wasn't a break-in, that the victims may have known the person at the door and willingly opened the door for them. And so as investigators started working back those timelines to find out who could have done that, that's when they learned something very important. Jacob hadn't just been home that night. He had been out with someone earlier, someone he knew, someone that he had a history with. And interestingly, that last person known to be with Jacob is also someone connected to the entire family. That person was 30-year-old Jenna Straubel, Jacob's on and off again girlfriend and the mother of his 2 children. So after pinning Jenna as a suspect, investigators began to track her whereabouts. And when they did find her hours later, she was all the way back at her house in Indiana. She was immediately taken into custody and charged with 9 counts of first-degree murder. Now, as this moves from investigation into the legal process, more details have been coming out, and this is where the case becomes a lot more unsettling. Because according to prosecutors, Jenna had picked up Jacob that night and spent time driving around with him. At one point, even letting him know that she had a surprise for him and offered to give him a massage. She had him recline back in the seat, take off his shirt, lie on his stomach, while she used a massage gun on his back. Prosecutors say this went on for about 20 minutes. Then while Jacob was lying there, completely vulnerable, investigators say she pulled out the gun. And according to court documents, she allegedly held the gun to the back of his head for several minutes, going back and forth on whether she was actually going to pull the trigger, before ultimately shooting him. And from there, prosecutors say Jenna drove the car to his parents' home with his body still in the passenger seat while smoking a cigarette. And when she got to the house, she initially tried using Jacob's key to open the door. And that's when Patrick, Jacob's stepfather, heard the noise, came to open the door, and Jenna immediately opened fire, killing Patrick, went inside where Stacy Ford was also shot and killed. Investigators say that Jenna later made incriminating statements during questioning and that a firearm recovered after her arrest matched the weapon that was used in the murders. And Jenna didn't provide much of a motive other than not liking the way Jake spoke to the children or felt that his parents were a little too overbearing. The court documents read, quote, "She didn't like the fact that Jacob showered with a toddler, that people took naps with children, that Stacy was snarky, or that rules seemed to change in their home." And apparently, Jenna didn't want her own parents having custody of her children either, and also admitted to investigators that she had even considered killing her own parents as well. She has since been extradited to Illinois and is now being held in custody as the case moves forward, with court proceedings just beginning. But even at this stage, this level of detail that's coming out, especially about how this allegedly all unfolded, is what's making this case stand out. It's definitely one we're going to be keeping a close eye on, and hopefully we'll get some answers to these questions as to more of the motive, what drove her to do that night. As the police said, this was targeted, so there was a plan in place, but so sad for those kids.
It makes me wonder if there was like postpartum psychosis or something. Like if she didn't want anybody watching the kids except her, like not the in-laws, not her parents, not the father, like, and for not like, and for the statement about she didn't like that they showered together, napped together, how they took care of the kids.